Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest on everything cool every single day, thanks in a large part to our pals at the VFS School of Game Design. Thank you so much, Vancouver Film School. Today's rundown is dedicated to a person named Santi P, who watches our show every day with his 2-year-old son, and now Jak and Daxter is their favorite game that they play together on the PlayStation 2. That is so sweet. And this rundown is all yours, you guys. Nintendo has a big new fantasy RPG on the way. Monolith Software, the Nintendo subsidiary behind the Xenoblade Chronicles games, has revealed that they're working on an all-new medieval fantasy-style RPG. That's according to a job posting on the company's official website. It says they're looking for programmers to work on an unannounced new title, which will have medieval fantasy elements similar to many Western RPGs. They've even posted a few pieces of concept art, and yep, it looks like a Western RPG. We can guess that the new game, whatever it is, will have faster-paced combat than the previous Monolith games, because the same job posting says they're looking for battle planners with experience in action games and responsive combat. This, and the Western focus, seems like a bit of a departure for the studio. Although the Xenoblade games are popular all over the world, they have a distinctly Japanese feel to them, so it appears that the studio wants to try something different. They haven't said when the new game might arrive, but given that it's still in the early stages of development, we probably won't be seeing it for at least a few years. As for platforms, we can rule out the 3DS, given that Nintendo plans to move on from that system at the end of next year, so the Switch seems to be the most obvious choice. Monolith is currently working on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for the system, which arrives this holiday season. We'll let you know when more details on their new game come in. Everybody is getting into a cockpit in the new Star Wars Battlefront game. At the massive Gamescom event in Germany, EA has revealed the first full space combat trailer for Star Wars Battlefront 2, giving fans their first good look at all the different ships, battles, and environments you'll get in the new game. You'll be able to fly as just about every conceivable character, including Luke, Vader, and Darth Maul. Even Yoda, yes, Yoda, will be flying around in a little ship just like he did in the Clone Wars series, because apparently now wars do make one great. Space battles weren't included in the last game until the Death Star DLC was released almost a year after launch, so EA and developer DICE are going all out with the space combat this time around. Battlefront 2 hits our galaxy this November. Microsoft is hoping that gamers will find the Xbox One a bundle of joy this holiday season. The biggest news to come out of Gamescom so far this year is a slew of new bundles for the existing Xbox One S and more powerful Xbox One X, which hits stores November 7th. First up, the Xbox One S is getting 2 cool new bundles for the games Middle-earth: Shadow of War and Minecraft. And the Minecraft one looks especially cool. As for the Xbox One X, that's getting a special launch day edition called the Project Scorpio Edition, reviving the original codename that was first used at E3 2016. That version will only be available in limited quantities and comes with special Project Scorpio branding that won't be included on the regular version after those are all gone. As for what you'll be able to play on the X, Microsoft has published a list of Xbox One games that will be getting 4K updates, and the list includes titles like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Halo 5, and the upcoming NBA 2K18. Microsoft seems to be making a concerted effort to make sure older games get 4K updates, which is good because the Xbox One X frankly doesn't have enough new launch titles that can really show off what it can do. Crackdown 3 has been delayed, so the only big new Xbox exclusive game launching around the same time as the system is Forza Motorsport 7, which crosses the finish line October 3rd. Hopefully we'll be getting lots of brand new game announcements for the Xbox One family very soon. It looks like EA and BioWare have put the final nail in the coffin for Mass Effect Andromeda. It's official, the troubled sci-fi RPG will not be getting any single-player DLC. In a blog post, the development team says that the recent 1.10 update will be the final one for the game, and there is no planned future single-player content. This puts an end to months of speculation on the matter. Before the game came out, the developers had planned to release new story DLC, but they were forced to put the DLC development on hold as they struggled to address all the glitches and bugs in the main game. There was some back and forth about whether or not the DLC would ever materialize, and now we can finally put the matter to rest. This is obviously a huge loss for EA and BioWare. A big title like Mass Effect Andromeda usually gets several big paid expansions, so canceling them leaves a dent in EA's upcoming slate, and that's on top of the existing fallout from poor sales of the main game. This also casts a huge shadow around the once great Mass Effect franchise in general, one that gamers are sure to remember for years to come. As a consolation for fans, BioWare says that the unfinished story threads from Andromeda, which would have been addressed in the DLC, will now be wrapped up in future tie-in comics and novels, although they haven't said when those might arrive. The good news is that BioWare says that they will still continue to support the game's multiplayer component with new missions and character kits, with details on those coming soon. And if action RPGs are what you're looking for, get a load of this. At Gamescom, publisher THQ Nordic has unveiled a new action RPG called BioMutant. Players take the role of anthropomorphic creatures and have the ability to customize them with unique mutations, bionic prosthetics, and weapons, which will change the way they fight, and the combat is based around fast-paced martial arts style battles. The game also promises to have a large open world that can be explored with a wide array of land, sea, and air vehicles. That shouldn't surprise you when you learn that BioMutant is the first project from Experiment 101, a new development studio founded by former members of the Just Cause development team, so you can expect loads of open world mayhem. BioMutant will launch next year on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. One of Marvel's most violent anti-heroes is finally getting a chance to shine in all his badass glory. Marvel and Netflix have released the first teaser trailer for their latest series, The Punisher, featuring Jon Bernthal as the murderous, not superhero. Bernthal previously appeared as the character in a supporting role on the second season of Daredevil, and he was so popular, Marvel and Netflix decided to give him his own show. This will be the character's first time headlining his own series, and judging by what we've seen so far, it looks like fans will be getting the same punishing level of grit and mayhem that they're familiar with in the comics. Hopefully it delivers, because there's a lot of bad blood with the Punisher, not just in fiction, but in real life. There have been no less than 3 different films based on the character, but none of them really captured the tone of the comics, and all of them were poorly received. We'll get to find out if the new series makes things right when it arrives later this year. The burgeoning world of virtual reality is one step closer to becoming mainstream. HTC has dropped the price of their high-end VR headset, the HTC Vive. The device used to cost a massive $1,150 in Canada, but has been slashed down to $800. In the US, it used to cost $800, but now goes for $600. HTC says that they're doing this because the cheaper VR becomes, the easier it will be for it to reach the mass market, and they had always planned to lower the price over time as the headsets became less expensive to make. Rival VR company Oculus has the same idea, having cut the price of their headset, the Oculus Rift, earlier this year. VR is definitely pretty cool, but the high price remains the technology's biggest hurdle to overcome before it can break into the mainstream, so any price cut is a step in the right direction. The headsets will also need to become easier to use if they want to be embraced by casual consumers. Thankfully, HTC, Oculus, and other tech companies are already working on new technology that will allow the headsets to cut their cumbersome cables and scale the room around you without stationary sensors. That's it for today's rundown. If you'd like to learn more about game design, visit our pals at VFS.edu. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode for you. In the meantime, click around on some of the other content that we've made, and if you like it, hit subscribe for us, okay?